So things may be a little late this year. I may be a little less than what I would like to be as a gardener. But I'm so excited. And I understand that you can't really tell from my face. Trust me, when I watch my face, I'm like, really, Sarah, you're excited? Because that doesn't look like you're excited. But I am excited. Okay, so it's the middle of August, and there's a lot of little projects that we have to do to get ready for our fall garden and kind of make our animals easier for us to manage and the garden easier for us to manage. But I'm kind of excited currently about what's growing in the yard because a lot of things have grown late. Because it's been a weird year. But also because I haven't had much to do with what's growing. The garden is actually starting to produce again, and I'm pretty excited about it. So I want to take you all and show you all what's actually growing right now, and just what my plans are. Or actually, we're just gonna go and look and see what's growing right now. All right, this bed I'm actually really proud of because it's really pretty right now. The girls did a really good job weeding it, but it's just pretty. We have some asters growing. There's some dwarf asters. We have something growing there. Blue, do you remember what that is? Salvia? Salvia, maybe?
Yeah.
And so we have our daylilies. I've made these teepees. I took down some of the zinnias that were growing in here, and these little teepees are going to hold sweet peas, and they'll just trellis right up them. And then we've got our blueberries still growing, and then the blue spice basil that's
blueberry muffins.
Yeah, that smells like blueberry muffins.
Those are the mushrooms I'm talking about.
Oh, that's okay. That means the soil's good.
I've been smashing them cookout.
So, and then we have our raspberry over here. It's probably gonna need a little bit of pruning. It's not producing raspberries.
It has flowers.
Does it still have flowers? Oh, it does have flowers growing on it. See, there's some flowers. It probably won't produce much. I don't know. I don't know much about raspberries. And then over here we have our watermelons. We cut down the sunflowers, and then we're allowing the watermelons to kind of grow here. There's one there, and then we have several back in here. This is where our yard slopes, so this area stays a little bit more wet than normal. And so I've got a big one right here. And so my hand there, that's that. It's not ready yet. We'll see. The okra is producing like a lot. I need to come out here and harvest it again. This is an everyday thing. I am a 5'11" if I stand up straight, so you can kind of get an idea of how tall the okra is right now. So I may have to traditionally cook up some okra, the southern delicacy, and do it fried for my family because we have so much pickled okra at this point. I'm standing underneath our beans, which is really cool. Our bean trellises. These beans have like hit a second stride, and they are producing like crazy. The kids harvested tons of green beans off of, or purple beans off of it yesterday. We've got a bunch more growing, and I'm pretty excited because we'll be eating beans again tonight. And these taste really, really good. So, in my opinion, you can never have too much. It would be nice, in all honesty, if I could can them and put them away for winter. I know there's things that we could do freezing them, but I'm running out of freezer space right now. And you can't find pressure canners or freezers currently. So we're eating them almost as fast as we're picking them. And then my late season cucumbers are starting to come in. This one's starting to vine up. You can see it producing right there. Very excited. And then my other little sprouts are starting to come up. Very happy about that. Where are my other ones? There we go. So you can see those. We'll trellis them. Here are the Lima beans. I've not grown Lima beans before. This is a bush variety. Lima beans do really well in the south here, so why not grow them, right? This looks more like a trailing variety. I mean, a climbing variety, right? Than a bush. I don't know. I mean, it looks like it could vine up something. That's kind of interesting. So we'll see. But these should start producing soon. I've started seeing little flower buds start popping up. And then I planted a whole heck of a lot more beans because they're so productive and we have a good season. And so these guys are really starting to come up on this side. I planted these a couple of weeks ago. So they're going up, trellising these as they come in. But these pole beans, you only have to do this a couple of times and then they'll take off themselves. I planted a second row of these about 2 weeks after the other. So these are more beans coming in. You can tell that this isn't having as much pest pressure as the other did when it came in. So planting these a little bit later helped with pest. But these are about 2 weeks behind the other. And so this is where I had my corn. So we'll have tons of beans. I got my tomatoes and my peppers in really late this year. So I didn't think that they would grow. Judging from seasons past, I wasn't too optimistic. However, much to my surprise, I have some pasting tomatoes that are doing really good. So I'm super excited because those are the ones that I really wanted to put away for tomato sauce and things like that. So we're trying this new thing. It's all the rage among lazy gardeners. Or, gardeners that can't get out in their yard. You plant this tomato and then you just let it go. I'll show you what I mean. It's my jungle tomatoes. See that? No stakes, no tomato cages, nothing. And so the tomato plant starts here, and then there you go. There's your tomato. If you can't tell, that was sarcasm. So I was gonna stake my tomatoes using what's called a Floral Weave. It basically, for my bed, would take 2 T-posts and baling wire. And you basically weave in between your tomato plants to keep them up high and up off the ground. Because I didn't have that many in each bed, I didn't want the cages and other things that would get in the way. However, life had other plans and energy is low and the ability to do is low. And, in August, it's July and August, it's really hot outside. Even in the evening time, you don't want to get out and do anything. So, but I'm really excited because I do have tomatoes growing. I may try to stake these because things are getting a little bit less crazy for me. But we'll see. Oh, and I also have a pepper growing, which was really exciting. I don't know if I'll get peppers. I don't know if it's going to be hot enough for the peppers to really produce. But I've got peppers growing, or a pepper plant growing amongst my jungle tomatoes. See? And I don't remember what kind of pepper I grew. But see, here, where's the flower? There's the flower. Can you see that? There we go. There's a little flower. So we'll see how that works out. So the other day I had my kids out here weeding for me. They're really good at that, and honestly they don't really complain about it because they know that it needs to be done. So, but this side of my yard, I've pretty much given up on. We've got some things growing over there, but this is the newer part of the yard, and I've given up on it, I should say, for this year, not for next year. Over winter time, we're gonna really amend the soil and add a lot of nutrients and compost and things like that that will help to enrich the soil so we can plant in it next year. But I planted some ground cherries over here next to my greenhouse, and I expected a lot because ground cherries grow really well in this environment. You can even find them wild in places. And so I was very excited about growing them because, you know, they're tart. It'd be a sweet treat. I love growing things that you can just eat from the straight from the garden, and the kids enjoy it. But I almost gave up on them, and I was gonna just dig up this bed completely. And then when the kids were out weeding, I was actually laying on the trampoline getting some much needed vitamin D because extremely low. And they started getting really excited because lo and behold, guess what? We've got ground cherries growing. We still have a fair amount of time in our growing season. So I'm pretty excited about this to see what will actually produce. And then also in those wine barrels, we have figs growing too. So I'm like, what the heck? Let's see, look, little ground cherries. Hold on, let's get in here. Like, look at them growing. Look at that. It's pretty awesome, right? It's a win. If you get one from anything you plant, it's a win, not a failure. So there we go, looky there. And then also my Mexican sunflowers are starting to come in. These are really pretty in the garden. They attract tons of pollinators. You know, all of us have this corner of our house that we're kind of embarrassed about, or closet, or something. I have a corner of my yard that I'm kind of embarrassed about. But I shouldn't be, to be honest, just given my circumstances. We had plans of growing pumpkins back in here and letting them all sprawl out in this back corner, but it never happened. So that's okay. I have pumpkin seeds for next year. But we're going to, the biggest project that we have right now is to fence this back corner off so that way we can let our chickens run around back here. They'll eat all the grass. I've done this for the past 3 years. They'll eat all the grass, they'll till up the ground, all the soil, and then next spring, this will be like a prime place for planting. Yeah, it's a huge area. It's nice and shaded, but we've got to fence it off. And so that's the plan today. But we'll open up that little area right there for the chickens, and they'll just come right back here, and they'll have this huge area all winter long. But before I fence off this area and you can't tell what's what, really want to show you something. I did a video on how I keep my chickens, and I do a deep litter method, and I touched on the fact that I use my chicken run as my compost area. And once a year we go and we clean out the chicken run, and then we add the compost to the garden. I can go in there anytime during the year, honestly, and scrape off the top layer and use compost when I need it. So I want to show you in this area what I did last year in the fall. Right here, This is all compost from, if you look at the soil right here, this is all compost from the chicken run. It's really, really good soil. Everything grew nicely. You see this blackberry? It was teeny tiny this year. My peach tree is also planted in this, and the peach tree produced very prolifically. It's right next to the chicken run. And so this is where we had our onions planted because of the soil. Now, this is our compost. I did not buy this compost. Our chickens made this compost. We had so few weeds in this. It was amazing. Now, just over here, because it didn't fill up a huge area because I added it to the beds, to my vegetable beds. But just on this side, look, this is where we brought in compost. And you can see what we had growing here. There's a lot of weeds that we had growing, pulling them constantly. But there's a huge difference between this area in terms of the weeds in this area and right next to it. You'll always have weeds, but I'm pretty impressed with what we grew, or what we made, I should say, or the chickens made, I should say, compared to what we bought and brought into our yard. Being over here, I realized that my blackberry is growing through our fences. So I need to check into our neighbor's yard, so I'm gonna fix that real quick. Man, that is stuck in there. They don't destroy my blackberry, because they will. They'll dig it up and destroy it.
What about this?
I'm not too worried about that because it's not down on the ground.
It's insane.
Right? Olivia, I'm gonna need your help, sweetheart. My hands aren't working quite right. So I need your help holding this.
Chemo hands.
Well, that's not chemo. Well,
What do you want me to hold?
okay, so what we've got up here, it's gonna be more of the fencing. All right, Olivia, I'm gonna have you hold this out so we can give this a little bit more space. Oh. My fingers just don't want to work. Okay, look. All right, so this is what we're gonna do right here.
This is gonna have to be
dumped by hand.
Yeah.
That's fine. There we go. Cool.
That
We'll just keep it.
Sorry.
It's a dead cicada.
Chickens are going to be happy.
All right, show this.
It's under the duck.
I might be able to actually push it out myself. You think so? Uh-huh. Okay. Hey, watch Olivia. Take me there.
Okay. I may need someone actually. It's hooked up on a rock.
Yeah. Alright. Alright. One more. There you go. There.
I'm gonna plow over it.
That's fine. Here we go. Alright.
Not dedicated to soccer. Watch this.
Just keep on coming. Alright. And so far in our back corner, we have cleaned up a little bit. So we're putting our kiddie pool here for our ducks. Or we have 2 ducks. And so they're going in there. Our meat chicken tractor is going to stay back here for right now. to provide just extra shelter for the chickens as they want. We moved the feed trough all the way up because there was no need for them to have that. And then I kept my little bench back here. One, because you'll see a lot of kids that will go, and a lot of kids, meaning just a couple of my kids, will come sit back here. But the chickens will also kind of roost on that at nighttime. It's kind of cute. That's one major project done for the winter. Got that ready, and it's checked off of our list. All right, so we've fenced off this back area, this back corner. Looky, looky. Happy chickens. So excited. So many things to explore. The ducks are so excited they haven't even noticed that they have a clean pond. Right? Say hey! Hey! We worked hard this morning. We did our schoolwork. We cleaned up. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.